this property immediately until you come back with a warrant. Out of this property, you Nazis!
That confrontation took place this past Easter Sunday. My next guest has now been visited twice by police during services at his church in Canada. Law enforcement and Ministry of Health officials say that street church in Calgary, Alberta, is in violation of COVID-19 safety protocols. Do police in Canada have a right to disrupt services in progress? And do these confrontations represent a form of harassment and intimidation? Joining me now to share his experience is Pastor Artur Pawlowski of Street Church Ministries in Calgary, Alberta. Pastor, thank you for being here. Before we get to what happened at your church this past weekend, I want to go back to Easter Sunday. What COVID-19 protocols were you originally accused of violating at your church services?
Well, that's an interesting story because I have not been accused of any of them. No one told me that I am in a breach of any regulations or laws. Those authorities simply wanted to come in with their guns, with their tasers, with their uniforms to observe church service, to harass and to intimidate parishioners, which is unacceptable under the Criminal Code of Canada. Of course, as you know, Section 176, 1, 2, and 3, you're not allowed to do such a thing. You're not allowed to interfere with the clergyman while he's conducting his duty, officiating the service. You're not allowed to come in and disrupt a religious gathering. That's 5 years jail time. And of course, trespassing. That's another one. So they came, I think they came to observe if I'm wearing a mask while I'm preaching the gospel in the congregation. They wanted to see if people are social distancing and if I'm, God forbid, giving a communion to my parishioners. So that's, I think, they wanted to come and see. I didn't wait for their explanation. What they did was wrong, was illegal, unconstitutional, and they did it in the middle of church gathering. If they want to observe anything, if they want to come and inspect the building, they're welcome to do so, but not in the middle of service. That's unacceptable. That's harassment.
Pastor, did they have a warrant of any kind?
No, they don't have a warrant to this day. They have a court order. And pretty much, oh, irony, they have found a judge. We all heard about Bill Gates. Well, I don't know if that's a family or not, but David Gates signed a court order, a judge, allowing them to come in. And the order says that they can bring anyone they want. So we had SWAT team and, the gang suppression team, the SWAT team coming with them as well, with a dozen other officers filming, taking pictures, recording everything. And they wanted to get into the place of sanctuary, into the place of worship. It's shocking, unbelievable. Even during the Middle Ages, when we call the Dark Ages, whatever, the knights were commanded by law to leave their swords outside of the cathedral, outside of the church, outside of the synagogue. They were not allowed to bring their weapons inside of the place of worship, place of sanctuary. But these days, 21st century, nothing is holy anymore. And they walked in like into a restaurant trying to enforce some regulations.
I want to move on to what happened this weekend, this past weekend. The police and the Ministry of Health officer showed up at your church again. I want to show people a little bit of what happened.
This is for you. It basically outlines the fact we have the right to enter today. Just wanted to be able to come today and then at least explain the order, serve the order, and then we can stand at the back.
No, you can contact. No. You can contact my lawyer. I do not cooperate with the Gestapo. I do not talk to the Nazis. You came in your uniforms like thugs.
I just wanted to explain a little bit about the order.
I'm not interested.
I just wanted to at least have a conversation.
I'm not interested in talking. You see, this is what the Gestapo is doing. You're coming to the place of worship to intimidate and to harass. So you can make an appointment. Lady, listen to me. You can make an appointment.
Pastor, as you explained before, police, according to the law, are not permitted to disrupt an ongoing church service. And yet we have armed officers entering and observing what happens at your church. This seems like a disruption.
Of course, it is a disruption. I mean, look, I had to come out and talk to them instead of doing my job, my duty, preaching to parishioners that came and they wanted to be left alone. They wanted to come in peace into a place of sanctuary, a place of protection by the federal laws. I was not able to do it because I was disrupted. I was interfered while I was conducting my duty, and they wanted to do the same thing to the parishioners. And that's, of course, unacceptable. I mean, the level of lawlessness that we are experiencing in this country is absolutely shocking. And they didn't come just once. I've told them what I've told them. I was reading the court order. She presented me with the court order, and I started to read it, but she kept interrupting me. I could not even finish reading the order without her interrupting me over and over again. So finally I said, you know what, send this to the lawyer and get out. I want to go back and do what I came to do, which is officiating a church service. And you go. Eventually they left, but behold, they left only for about half an hour, because that's the same day they came back again while I was already halfway through my preaching sermon with the church, and they wanted to do the same thing.
Did they explain exactly how you and your congregation were allegedly in violation of these protocols?
No, to this day, they have not said anything to me. Actually, I offered a number of times. I offered to sit down with them. I offered to open the church building. I said, let's do it. You want to inspect the facility? I have no problem with that. You can come. I can come and you can talk to me, but not during the church service. That's unacceptable. Right. That's illegal.
Why do you think they're so focused on your congregation, and are other churches in Calgary experiencing the same kind of scrutiny?
Most of the churches in Canada are shut down, like 99%. There's few that are open underground. In the city of Calgary, they're meeting underground, just like in China. There is one more church that is open, and the authorities are doing to them exactly the same thing, walking in, taking pictures, intimidating pastor, parishioners, and tickets after tickets. I already got 28 COVID tickets so far. And the problem that we're seeing right now is an infringement of our rights. And let me add something to you, that this didn't happen just a few weeks ago. This is an ongoing harassment for the past 30 months. The mayor of the city of Calgary, Naheed Nenshi, is a Muslim mayor. He has been hunting me down for a number of years with tickets, with bylaws, with police, taking pictures, intimidating. They're using the armed forces of police and the bylaws to crack down on Christianity with the right to worship in the middle of their time of worship.
Is there any legal redress? I mean, are you suing the city? Are you suing the mayor?
Right now, we are in the middle of back and forth with the lawyer. We are sending letters. We already asked the other side to give us disclosures. We did not receive them. We contacted the court, the judge. We did not receive anything yet from the courts and from the judge and from the other side lawyer. So we are waiting. I was told that I can be arrested at any moment, anytime, right now, day or night, for my horrible crimes of opening the church for the parishioners, for the free people in a free and democratic society. So I don't know what is going to happen. I have intention to do a church service this Saturday again. And of course, we are on the streets 4 times a week. Again, we're not planning to close the feeding of the poor. We feed thousands of people that are under the bridges, in bushes, people that are neglected, dying. They need their necessities of life. And that's what we're providing, saving lives. We're the first responders. We are the essential services, just like the police, just like the doctors, paramedics, and nurses. However, the government thinks that we are not needed, not welcomed, and we need to be destroyed for the crime of feeding the poor. I disagree. And the same way with the church building, I disagree that they have a right to just walk in and disrupt everything, harassing people, intimidating people with their guns and tasers and handcuffs in their uniforms.
Pastor Artur Pawlowski, well, thank you so much for being here. We will keep in touch with you and continue to monitor this story. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Rise up, stand up, and do not allow them to steal what's rightfully yours. Your right to worship your God in peace. Be blessed.